Imagine a woman trapped in a loveless marriage, yearning for passion and connection, only to find it in the arms of a rugged gamekeeper. This is the bold and stirring heart of Lady Chatterley's lover. This book was written by D.H. Lawrence, a British author known for his deep dive into human relationships and emotions, and it first came out in 1928, though it was banned in many places for years because of its explicit content. Lawrence wrote it while living in Italy, drawing from his own views on love, society, and the struggles of the working class, during a time when England was still reeling from World War I and the changes it brought. Set in the English countryside in the 1920s, the story follows Constance Chatterley, or Connie, as she navigates a stifling marriage and discovers a transformative love affair that challenges everything she knows. It's a controversial yet powerful novel that explores desire, class differences, and the search for meaning, making it a classic that still sparks debate today. The story begins by introducing us to Connie Chatterley, a young woman from a middle-class family who marries Sir Clifford Chatterley, a wealthy baronet, before the war. They seem happy at first, living in his grand estate, Ragby Hall, but everything changes when Clifford returns from the war paralyzed from the waist down, unable to walk or have children. This leaves Connie feeling isolated and trapped as their marriage becomes more about duty than love. Clifford, though kind in his own way, grows distant, spending his days writing novels and managing the estate, while Connie is left to deal with her growing loneliness. She tries to fill the void with intellectual conversations and friendships, but it's not enough to satisfy her deeper needs. As time passes, Connie starts to feel the weight of her situation more heavily. She's in her late 20s now, and the lack of physical and emotional intimacy with Clifford leaves her restless. The war has also changed the world around them. Miners and workers on the estate are struggling, and the divide between the upper class, like the Chatterleys, and the working class is stark. One day, Connie meets Oliver Mellors, the gamekeeper hired to look after the estate's woods. Mellors is a quiet, rough-around-the-edges man who served in the war and now lives a simple life, far removed from the Chatterleys' world. There's an instant tension between them, a mix of curiosity and unease, because he represents everything her social circle looks down on. Their relationship begins to develop slowly. At first, Connie only sees Mellors from a distance, watching him work with the animals or tend to the land. She's drawn to his independence and the way he seems untouched by the pretensions of her life. One afternoon, while walking in the woods, she encounters him again, and their conversation reveals his sharp mind and disdain for the upper class, which both surprises and intrigues her. Over time, their meetings become more frequent and a spark ignites. One rainy day, they give in to their feelings, sharing a passionate encounter in his hut that awakens Connie's senses and challenges her sense of self. This moment is raw and intense, marking the start of a love affair that's as much about physical desire as it is about emotional connection. As their relationship deepens, Connie and Mellors face the realities of their different worlds. She starts to question the values she's grown up with, the idea that class and status define a person's worth. Mellors, who was once married and has a daughter he rarely sees, shares his own bitterness about society, shaped by his time in the army and his failed marriage. Their love becomes a rebellion against the rigid social norms, but it's not without complications. Connie's sister, Hilda, notices her change in mood and suspects something, while Clifford begins to rely on her more, unaware of the affair. He even suggests she have a child with another man to secure an heir, not realizing she's already found someone. The affair reaches a turning point when Connie discovers she's pregnant with Mellors' child. This news fills her with joy, but also fear, because she knows Clifford will never accept it. She tells Mellors, and they dream of a future together, away from Ragby Hall, where they can live simply and raise their family. But before they can act, the truth starts to unravel. Mrs. Bolton, a nurse who helps care for Clifford, picks up on Connie's absence and begins to suspect something. When Clifford finally learns about the affair, he's furious, refusing to grant Connie a divorce and clinging to his pride and status. This leaves Connie and Mellors in a difficult spot, unable to marry until his current marriage is legally ended. In the meantime, Connie goes to Venice with Hilda to escape the scandal and think about her next steps. The beauty of Italy contrasts with the mess she's left behind, giving her a chance to reflect on what she really wants. She realizes that her love for Mellors is genuine, not just a rebellion, and she's willing to fight for it. Back in England, Mellors works to finalize his divorce, but the process is slow, and he faces pressure from the community, which disapproves of his relationship with a lady of Connie's standing. The novel ends on an uncertain note. Connie and Mellors are apart, waiting for the legal issues to resolve, but they hold on to hope, planning to build a life together once they're free. Throughout the story, Lawrence weaves in his thoughts on society and human nature. The contrast between the cold, mechanical life at Ragby Hall and the natural, earthy connection Connie finds with Mellors reflects his belief that modern industrialization has disconnected people from their true selves. The working-class miners, struggling to survive, highlight the unfairness of class divisions, while Connie's journey shows how love can break through those barriers. Lawrence also explores the body and desire, arguing that physical love is a vital part of being human, a theme that shocked readers when the book was first published. The characters themselves are complex and flawed. Connie starts as a passive figure, shaped by her upbringing, but grows into someone who dares to choose her own path. Mellors, with his rough exterior and hidden tenderness, challenges the idea that class defines a person's heart. Clifford, though sympathetic in his disability, represents the rigid traditions that hold people back. Together, they create a story that's as much about personal freedom as it is about love. Lady Chatterley's Lover carries a deep meaning because it pushes us to think about love, class, and what it means to live authentically in a world full of rules. It shows how desire can be a force for change, breaking down barriers between people like Connie and Mellors, even when society tries to keep them apart. The book also makes us question the cost of tradition and industrialization, suggesting that true happiness comes from connecting with others and nature. People are drawn to this novel because it's bold and honest, tackling topics like sex and class with a passion that still feels fresh, while inviting us to reflect on our own choices and the courage it takes to follow our hearts.